Bluff City Media presents the Two Buck Sports Show with your hosts, Rusty Buckets and Uncle Buck. Now, let's get to the show.
What is up, everybody? Happy Thursday. It is Friday Eve. We've almost made it to the weekend, and I am your boy, Rusty Buckets, checking in from a rainy, overcast, slick East Memphis. So y'all be careful out there. And I got my guy, Drew Gann, a.k.a. Uncle Buck, on the mic with me today, buddy. 2 days in a row. We're kind of making it, I guess all week, really. We're making it a habit of doing the show together. How are you, buddy?
It's weird. I've started to get sick of you, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I think the news worn off again. I think you need to take another trip, maybe to Montana or something this time, or maybe pay for me to take a trip. That would be something. I think that's a way that you can solve this problem right now, is paying for me and my wife to go on a trip.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but the idea of another trip does sound amazing right about now. So you know what? I'm in.
Yeah, you're getting into, next week is Thanksgiving, and the weather's been nice. This is peak weather. This is hoodie weather that I've said ad nauseum about how much I love. It's my favorite season is hoodie season.
Absolutely.
But with it comes rain and just kind of dreariness, and all the leaves are falling. I would like now to just go somewhere tropical. So if you can arrange that for me, I would greatly appreciate it.
I'm trying to arrange for me to go somewhere tropical, and if I'm going, I ain't going with you. Let's just put it that way.
Well, maybe you could just send Maggie my way, and she can help Haley out, and me and you could go somewhere tropical.
Now we could do a live $2 on location from the beach.
From Cabo St. Lucas.
Let's go. Now that might be a plan.
Yeah.
But thank y'all for tapping in. We got a Grizzlies game tonight. These shows are really structured, and I try and do that because Drew and I are two of the worst about going off on the rails. Like, we will talk and talk and talk. So I try and keep it structured, but today may not be one of those days. And we're going to start with some Therapy Thursday, just airing some grievances, offering some advice. This is what we do every Thursday. So thank y'all for tapping in, and hopefully this will help.
Yeah, so it's Therapy Thursday. It's the Two Buck Sports Show, Thursday edition. And if you weren't sad because of the gloomy, overcast, lack of sunshine day, you just heard that little bumper video, and that sent you spiraling. So trigger warning for anybody. Let you know this is just a segment. You don't actually have to feel bad. But I've got something that I feel like everybody needs to hear today.
Yeah, Jared's on point here. If you're not sad because of the gloomy weather, you're not sad because of Memphis sports. Listen, I do feel like if you step outside and you put your ear towards downtown, that's the music you will hear. Instead of the fun music you normally hear from Memphis, you'll hear that gloomy song, Drew. So mine is short and sweet. I'll be really brief. It is raining outside, folks. And if you see somebody walking out of a building or into a parking lot and you're in your car and they're just getting pummeled with rain, stop, let them go through. Don't be like the people that when I was leaving the gym this morning that sped up as a few of us were stepping off at the curb and had to jump back while getting just poured on by the rain so this Lexus could come through and leave us standing there in the rain. Be kind to your fellow citizen today in the rain. As somebody who's in and out of the rain a lot today, please be nice to us.
I didn't realize this was Throw a Fit Thursday. So how about you just wait inside until you can cross?
It was one of those things where
they make these portable awnings. I don't know if you've seen them before. They're like handheld roofs that are made out of this tarp-like material, and you can they have a handle, and you can release it upwards, and it makes this weird little domed roof over your head.
Funny story. I am 38 years old. I'm a grown adult.
Yes.
I bought the first ever umbrella I have ever bought.
Created.
Last week in New York was the first one I ever bought.
Umbrellas.
Just was floored.
Thank you, Jared. Yeah. Umbrellas. That's the word.
Yeah. Yeah, you said awnings.
No, I knew. I did it on purpose.
Yeah. But I bought my first ever umbrella at the 9/11 memorial because it was starting to rain on us, and I just told her this is the first one I've ever bought, and she was like, "Get out." I'm like,
Yeah, I've bought a couple. I've always bought the really cheap ones, and I've kind of always dreamed for like a really nice, expensive one with the wooden handle, that would hold up, because I always buy them in a pinch, like everybody does. Nobody's ever thought ahead to buy an umbrella, and so when I buy them in a pinch, I'm like, okay, what's the cheapest one I can find? I go outside, and it's got a leak in it, or the wind blows just slightly, and it inverts itself into a teacup.
Yeah.
Instead of a water shucking device, it's a water catching device.
Yeah. And so this is one of those things, like you're running out to your car, you finish at the gym, but this Lexus is coming here, and as like the way it works in the parking lot, it's like a little U-turn, like right in front of the door. And instead of just like stopping here, they like kind of sped up to go around. And there was about 6 of us that were taking a chance just to kind of step out and go, had to step back, got wet. An umbrella would have been clutch right there. But you know what? I'm not used to having one, and it was in my truck.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't use umbrellas. I would only have it if I was with Haley or the kids and trying to transport everybody in somewhere. I'm always prepared with a rain jacket. I have one in every vehicle that I am riding in. I'm very good about throwing my rain jacket in the vehicle before I leave. If I sense a little bit of rain, could be a possibility.
I did have my rain jacket on, but I mean, it was freaking flooding outside this morning.
Yeah, my therapy Thursday is I've just gotten real sick of message boards. I stay off message boards. I've always kind of I used to be a big recruiting fan. Like, I was big into high school recruiting when that was fun and illegal, and you had all the backdoor dealings and the drama, and you knew that this person at the high school that you had been coveting since they were a sophomore and got their first offer by your university, that once you would get the payoff because they would be at your university for 3 years. And I was big into recruiting until, like, transfer portal. Cam Akers broke me one year, and in a live stream that crashed the internet of all Ole Miss fans watching it into Clinton High School's recruit football announcement ceremony, and shut it down. And Cam Akers chose Florida State over Ole Miss, and so I've just not been on it since then. I felt like it was probably best for my mental health, but I always subscribe to message boards since when there's coaching stuff going on, because there's one that I think is really good for Ole Miss. It gives me lots of information, and it just kind of satisfies me. What you have to be leery of is message boards is like Twitter. Everybody's anonymous. Everybody's just the worst, the absolute worst. And I hate how message boards, if you want to stay within your own, you can say whatever you want to. You can say, if you stay within your message board. I hate it. And this happens in post-game shows here, happens on podcasts everywhere you watch. I hate fans of opposing teams jumping into other message boards or comment sections and spamming stuff. It aggravates me to no end. And for anybody who's a Florida fan, including Daniel Greer, who is the only one that I know, like, you guys can all just go and swim as far as you can into the Gulf of Mexico, for all I care. Like, we'll see if anybody saves you. It's just the most ludicrous people I've ever met in my life.
This might be the whiniest therapy Thursday I've literally ever heard.
Yeah, well, you're talking about getting wet.
Fan. This part of being a sports fan. Like, we had a Kings fan in our comments this morning on the Daily Grind, and it was awesome. It's part of the fun. Like,
and maybe I'm just using the comment section as a vehicle to get me to my hatred of Florida people and trolls who just think that they can.
Say it with your whole chest. If you're gonna be that way, say that.
Well, I'm getting there. I'm setting the scene there, and that's where I've seen it. This is where it's at all the time for me, and I cannot stand anybody who roots for the University of Florida at this point.
There it is.
It's just the most. If you want to come in here and act like you're good, act like you've done something in the last 20 years, then you could just go swim in the Gulf of Mexico for all I care. I mean, or go off the coast of South Africa where all the sharks are at. That's where you need to go swim.
Fair, they have played for more SEC championship games than Ole Miss has in the last 20 years.
Well, yeah, I mean, so has everybody that's been to one. But I mean, again, there is a line of demarcation between now and what everybody else was doing and historical relevance for the previous 100 years and then the last 10. Everything changed. We all agree with that. Florida is Steve Spurrier and Urban Meyer away from being South Carolina. They're just and I
They
hate.
were pretty good. They were pretty good under Dan Mullen in the first early part of his tenure. They played
And you
for
know
the
what?
SEC
And that
championship
maybe
game.
that just solidifies my point. Maybe that just solidifies my point. Because what were they then? Of just miserable. They were just miserable then too.
They are. They are miserable people.
They're just not good people.
They're not. Florida, like it does suck when they are relevant because they have the arrogance of an Alabama with the history of a South Carolina. You're not wrong there. Like it is like they do have some national championships. They got lucky with a couple of coaches. They're probably going to steal Lane Kiffin. That's what my gut's telling me. But like,
he's not going to Florida.
I don't know. We'll see. But I think Florida's kind of putting the pressure on a little bit with the John Summerall announcement. But I can't agree that Florida fans are the worst. And I've muted a lot of Memphis Grizzlies fans because I just don't like toxicity on my timeline. Now I'm going through, and anytime I open up Twitter and there's a tweet that's, and I don't even follow these people, so it doesn't really matter. I'll block, not interested, mute, whatever. But it'll say, if you could see the text I just got, or if you could hear the conversation I just had, it's like, buddy, you don't know squat.
Nobody knows anything.
No, you're a faceless. At least Drew, you can't. At least I have my face on my Twitter. So when I put it out there, you know it's coming from me. If you're a faceless troll account and you put out there, if you could see the tweet I had, or you could overhear the conversation I heard at Birch Diner in Lucedale, Mississippi, like, buddy, you don't know anything more than any of the rest of us. You're just doing it for clicks and for views. And to me, that is the most annoying trend of this coaching search.
There is so much of that.
I want Lane Kiffin to hurry up and decide so that crap will quit.
Well, and I think we're going to talk about it here in the last segment just briefly, but there's so much clout chasing when it comes to this and wish casting and, I'm just trying to seem like you're in the loop when what you're doing, you're talking to the guy at the car rental place who rented a vehicle to someone claiming to be a head coach's ex-wife. It's just, I think we would be shocked. I think we would be absolutely shocked at the amount of behind-the-scenes stuff that's done by sitting head coaches in other places, and it just got out with Lane. But nobody knows anything, and it's on purpose. Nobody honestly knows anything that matters. I'll put it to you that way.
I don't even know if Lane Kiffin knows, to be honest. Like, it truly feels like you said the other day, I've thought about that a lot. Like, if you sat him down, he would say, I want to leave and go to, be it LSU, be Florida, whichever one it is. But I genuinely don't think he wants to leave what he's built in Oxford, especially this year. I genuinely think he's torn. Now, he's not handling it the best way because, you saw Sark, and we'll talk about more of this in the final segment, like more and more coaches are at least coming out and lying to us and saying, I'm absolutely not going anywhere. And he's still trying to say it's not respectful to the players to deny or confirm rumors and all this kind of stuff. So he's not handling it the best, but I genuinely don't think he knows.
Yeah, I don't either. We'll table the rest of it for now. Let's talk about some Grizzlies. They've got a game tonight against somebody they should beat, but instead we're going to talk about an injury report.
Yeah, because what the Grizzlies should do and what they do often.
They do. That is what they do. All over us.
All over us.
Welcome to the 2 Buck Sports Show. Rusty, should I change my Twitter name? My handle is Uncle Buck, but do I need to change my name on there? Because I do advertise myself more or less at least half the time on this show. We are the 2 Bucks. To make it easy, about half the time I'm referred to as Uncle Buck. But I also don't tweet that much. So
that's what I'm getting at. Like, you don't tweet a whole lot, but you are one of the faceless accounts because your picture has been the same since Tony Allen was sneering at Steph Curry in 2011. You have the original 2 Bucks Sports podcast still as your header from 2022.
Oh, I
like,
changed
there's
that.
been no updates to your account. So that's more or less like if you want to be Uncle Buck on Twitter, that's completely fine. I'm Rusty Bucket. Rusty Witten, but my username is Buckets_BCM. So it's kind of a little bit of both. But I got my face on there. Like, you can look at it and be like, yeah, Rusty said that.
You've got to have one or the other, I think. I think you have to have one or the other. And
maybe.
The name is better. But I'm not a troll. I'm not a troll. And so on Twitter, I'm not the one that's out there doing all this shenanigans.
That's not what I'm not implying that you are the troll, but it's the faceless troll account always the worst.
I do think that Twitter and Instagram and YouTube and everywhere would be better if there was a sense of I know who you are and sense of accountability behind.
Listen, not in a doxing kind of way. Like, we're not up here doxing.
No, but the only people getting doxxed are the people saying stupid stuff behind anonymous usernames.
So if you put your name, again, say it with your whole chest, right? If you're going to say it, put your whole name on it with everything.
Yeah. So,
but anyway, I digress. The Memphis Grizzlies do play basketball tonight in as much of a must-win early season game as there could possibly be on this young season. The Memphis Grizzlies host the Sacramento Kings in the FedEx Forum. They're a 2.5-point favorite on FanDuel. If you go there right now, the Grizz are minus 144 on the money line. It's a rough lineup for the Grizzlies. All of the it's like 6 or 7 Kings players are projected at more total points before you finally get to the first Grizzly player on FanDuel's player points over under. The first one's being Cedric Coward and Santi Aldama at 15.5. And then Zach Edey at 12.5, Drew.
Yeah, Domantas Sabonis is questionable with a knee. I don't know if we've seen anything other than that, anything newer than that.
He's still got a line on FanDuel for points at like 22.5, but I don't. I think he's a game time decision. Was the last that I saw.
Yeah. Listen, I don't know what to think about this game. The Kings are 3-12. You look at that and you're just like, oh, well, this is a get right game. Well, the Grizzlies are 4-11, and you just look at the lineups and like, if you're telling me you can get an A game from Levine, DeRozan, and Westbrook, then I'm like, okay, well, they can, they can make a real difference. And you look at the Grizzlies lineup, it's like, oh, we really need Cedric Coward and Zach Edey and Santi Aldama to go over. It's it seems like a hard task when you put it that way. The Grizzlies are a better team, I believe. I don't know what the what the Kings are playing for. They're just tanking. I think all of those players that I mentioned are probably trade targets at the deadline if they can't turn something around quickly.
Domantas Sabonis is a name that keeps getting traction, and he is one that I've been 0% chance that we would ever go make a trade like this, but he is one that I would love to get in a Memphis Grizzlies uniform.
It doesn't really matter what it looks like. I don't care what the opening lineup looks like. I don't care who's playing, who's projected for what. Whatever it takes, you've got to get this taste out of your mouth right now. The Grizzlies have lost 6 straight to get to 4-11. You were 4-5, and now you're 4-11, and you've got to get off the snide a little bit. The schedule eases up just a touch, but it's still hard. I think your next game is it's not
Dallas.
It's Denver, Dallas, then Denver.
Dallas and then Denver, yeah.
So a 2-game winning streak here would be nice, but Dallas. Did they end up beating the Knicks last night? That was a good game.
They made the layup at the buzzer, but he got called for an offensive foul.
That's right. The hook,
the defender, which was a good call. But the Kings are 1-7 on the road this year. They don't play well. They don't travel well. The Grizzlies are 3-5 at home. 3 of our 4 wins have come at home. Like, tonight has got to be the night, man. It's got to be the Cedric Coward, the Zach Edey show. Like tonight would be a night to just turn Ced loose. Tell him you have the ultimate green light. If you get a look, if you get some space, take the shot. Like, go work out your rookie bumps tonight and just let it fly, big guy, and see what happens. Because no Ja Morant, likely no Jaren Jackson Jr. He's listed as doubtful. It's going to take a miracle for him to play. We all saw him step on the foot and turn the ankle against the Spurs.
It looked pretty rough.
It didn't look pretty, but he was able to come back and finish. I think there's probably like a little inkling that he could play, but listed as doubtful, probably not, given that we've got a short turnaround because we play tonight and then again on Saturday at Dallas. I would be surprised if he played.
Yeah, I probably would too. This is a nice little one-off home. Everybody's sleeping in their own bed tonight, which is nice, and hopefully it recenters you. I'm with you. Just kind of let Cedric do whatever you want to do. Let Edey do what he wants to do, especially if they're going to be without Sabonis. So just feed the hand, which is something you don't see in the NBA anymore, and probably for good reason because analytics just hates it, But
you can't trade twos with threes in games. You can't. Just
feed the hand. And then let Cedric, even if you're settling for mid-range jumpers, we're going to talk about Draymond Green's comments in a minute. The Kawhi Leonard comparison has been there ever since you drafted him and started talking about him. And so I think that is a shot that is absolutely money for Cedric Coward. He just doesn't get to it enough, and that's because he's not the primary ball handler. He's not the guy that's looking for his shot. So I'm with you 100%. I want to see those two guys just get a lot of shots.
And I want to see Jemai Meshack get some play tonight. This feels like a good night for him to kind of cut his NBA chops, come off the bench, provide some defense, a little bit of energy as we prep for maybe that Mavericks and especially that Nuggets game, because it's going to be all hands on deck on Monday the 24th against the Nuggets here at home. And I wouldn't mind seeing the young fella get a little run. We brought him up for a body in the backcourt. Tonight will be a good night. It's a good matchup against a bad Kings team. Not that we're that much better, but a bad Kings team. Get Jemai Meshack some run. Let's see what we got in the young fella. The Grizzlies tip off at 7 o'clock tonight. It's on FanDuel Sports Network. You can go to FanDuel.com and get the Grizzlies right now. Again, minus 144 on the money line as a home favorite, a 2.5-point home favorite. Go bet it. I'll be in the building. I'm going to go with a buddy of mine. I'm not overly excited about it, but it's part of my half-season pass. So I'm going to go. Hopefully, see us going to win. I was there for the Lakers game on Halloween, left a really bad taste in my mouth. So hopefully, like you said, Drew, tonight will be a good palate cleanser from all facets. But you mentioned the Cedric Coward comments by Draymond Green. I think it's a good time to bring that up before we look at some NBA standings. Draymond had some really high praise for Cedric, comparing him to Kawhi Leonard, saying that he is a great, fun young player to watch. Do you have the quote in front of you?
I don't, but I can find it.
If I was a good podcast host, I would have had that pulled up already, co-host, but I did not. But yeah, I mean, Draymond Green, known Memphis, kind of like he loves to hate on Memphis, but he also loves Memphis. He loves to give hype and credit and props to the Grizzlies when he can, and he had some high praise for Cedric Coward, comparing him to Kawhi Leonard, which, like you said, has been there since the draft. But Draymond's played against Kawhi Leonard. He's been in battles against his teams, against Kawhi, against some of these other big-time players. And for him to make that comparison, I feel like is a really high compliment from a guy who has had battles, again, with the Grizzlies and Kawhi Leonard.
So I'm just kind of reading the subtitles as he's kind of breathing all over my screen right now, that being Draymond Green.
Yeah. Ultimate mouth breather.
But I'll paraphrase. He just said that if Cedric Coward could get better with his ball handling, he reminds me of Kawhi Leonard. He's maybe a slightly less athletic Kawhi Leonard, but he's a better shooter than Kawhi Leonard is already. Basically just says he 1,000% could be like Kawhi Leonard, no questions asked. Cedric Coward, if he can get better with the ball, he has the potential to be like Kawhi Leonard. He's already a good defender at his age. Right now, he's a better shooter than Kawhi was. Not quite as athletic as Kawhi was. But I think Cedric Coward, player comp, is a healthy Kawhi Leonard. And let me say, like coming from Draymond Green, makes me want to trade Cedric Coward. I'm just kidding. I hate Draymond Green.
Yeah, he hates because it's in the job description, but Draymond has always loved Memphis. I believe that I hate Draymond. Don't get me wrong. I hate Draymond. Ultimate mouth breather. Can't stand that dude. But he has always had a soft spot for Memphis, for Ja, for the Grizzlies. And
he's in that freaking Toyota commercial or whatever it was. Watch out! Don't forget about the Grizzlies. Mm-hmm. As his daughter or whoever chucks a basketball into the woods. Yeah, and she shoots like Draymond.
It does, but it's the worst place for a goal because it's literally on the side of the cliff that you live on, and any missed shot.
Buddy, you made $100 million. Put up a fence.
That's it. A net, something, man. Because if not, that's going to get super annoying super fast. Maybe that's the point. Is she's teaching you elite shooting skills, so you ain't got to go down the mountain to get your ball when you miss.
And you better make it, and you better make it, and let it come and bounce back at a decent spot.
There would be nothing worse, though, than you just drilling a deep three, being all excited to hit a rock and shoot off the back of that mountain. It's like, I made it.
You got to watch out for Timberwolves and Grizzlies.
Yeah, Grizzlies and Raptors and all the things at the bottom of the hill. But we thought it'd be a good time. Early in the season, we've seen good basketball. We've seen a lot of bad basketball. And so we're going to update the NBA standings right now in the Eastern Conference on an absolute tear. Are the Detroit Pistons winners of 11 straight, Drew? The Pistons are playing some of the best basketball in the association right now, just streaking. Cade Cunningham's looking the part of MVP dark horse, like I said, in the early offseason. JB Bickerstaff, potential coach of the year type candidate. I mean, the Pistons are playing great basketball right now.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the top two seeds, Detroit and Toronto. You would not expect to see Toronto there, but what do they both have in common? Former Grizzlies head coaches or assistant with you got Darko and JB Bickerstaff there, and we're toiling away with Tomas Isalo.
We love that.
So
and it's been the resurgence of Scotty Barnes. Well, the coming out
surgence.
of Barnes, the surgence of Scotty Barnes, the resurgence of one Brandon Ingram, the mid-range assassin, who's been playing pretty good basketball for him as well. For that Toronto team, and I like Darko a lot. Like I'm kind of like silently rooting for him. He was loved by players in Memphis. Like really was excited. But I remember when he left, he was tore up about leaving the Grizzlies, and so love some Darko and wish him well.
Yeah. The Magic now getting into the 10th seed. They've won 4 out of their last 5, I believe. I don't see that on your standings. There's a last 10 on ESPN. I don't know if you can find it. It's not important, but
yeah, we'll scroll over because I've got it kind of to where we can see it. I can't scroll over. It's
and then I think the bottom tier, 11 through 15. I don't think you're going to see much of a change there, except for Milwaukee. One of these teams will fall. Milwaukee, I believe, will move up into the top 10 playoff. But I don't see any way Charlotte, Brooklyn, Indiana, or Washington are going to make a push in this.
Yeah. No real movement in the FanDuel lines on the Eastern Conference. Conference winner. Currently, the Cleveland Cavaliers are plus 250. The Knicks plus 370. Then there's a wide gap to the Orlando Magic at plus 750. Detroit is still down at plus 850, even though they're on an absolute tear. And then the Sixers plus 1,000, Hawks plus 1,100. Are you surprised there hasn't been any movement so far, Drew?
Not really. It's early. I would expect that there wasn't. It would take a major injury to really flip the standing so far, especially since Cleveland and New York are both in the top 4. Like, there's no reason to drop them down any. And Detroit should push, though. I think that's a really complete team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's given health. They just got to stay healthy. In the Western Conference is exactly what you would think. Oklahoma City Thunder 15-1, 7-0 at home. It's just an unbelievable start to the season without the good Jalen Williams. Like, they're not even full strength. He still has not played, and so they're only going to get better when he comes back. Then you got the Nuggets at 11-3, the Rockets at 10-3, the Lakers surprisingly at 11-4. Given LeBron has not played, they've been plagued by some injuries. They still have Luka Doncic, but and I'll be remiss to not mention Jake LaRavia. The Spurs at 10-4 and the T-Wolves at 10-5. No real shock on the Western Conference, right, Drew?
No, I think what you're seeing right here, and based on these two snapshots, is the West has become the East and the East has become the West. If you look at the 9 and 10 seeds in the West, they both have losing records by 3 games. But it's just so top heavy with Oklahoma City and Denver and Houston.
Yeah.
Even the Lakers been really good. And so there's just not much of a middle tier right now. Everybody more or less around 500 in the play-in game, and then it just really drops off a cliff after that line.
Yeah. It's going to be tough. Teams that start the season 4-10 have a really hard time making the playoffs. I forget what I saw it the other day when they were talking about the Mavericks.
And you know why that is? You know why that is? It's because if you lose 10 of your first 14 games, you're probably bad.
That's true.
There's probably not much you can fix. Mm-hmm. I mean, we all projected Phoenix to be bad, and they still might be bad. But they've got something in them right now that can win and stay competitive in basketball games. We just don't have the fight.
No, we don't have the same fight. We don't have that same toughness, and I'm not even talking about one former Memphis Grizzly that's on that team, although there's 2, and one of them cannot miss 3-pointers in Grayson Allen. I'm with Ninja DJ. It's not going well for the Grizzlies.
If you take Grayson Allen and Dylan Brooks and put them together, you will have one completely average 3-point shooter.
Yeah, exactly right. That's exactly right. What might hurt the most, though, would be defense, because Grayson Allen can't guard anybody. But
again, one perfectly average defender.
The Suns currently sitting at 9-6 in the 7th seed, and then the Magic in the 10th seed in the Eastern Conference at 8-7. Since it's not going well for the Grizzlies, I'm at least watching them, hoping that they fail. But so far, both of those teams are better than the Grizzlies. I don't think any of us, and we're fans. We have Beale Street colored glasses when we look at this thing. I don't think any of us thought that our draft pick would end up being the better of the picks that we would get compared to, especially the Phoenix pick. We all thought that was going to be a top 5 pick.
Yeah, there was no scenario on the flow chart that I was looking at that even we would even consider that the Grizzlies would be worse than Phoenix and Orlando. I would believe Orlando, but not Phoenix after trading Kevin Durant.
No.
But here we are.
In the year of our Lord 2025, late in November, and we cannot find a way.
But hey, it only takes one top 3 pick to really change the outlook of this franchise. And if it's ours or Orlando's or whoever's, I'll take it. I would just prefer not to go through a season in which the Grizzlies pick is the one that ends up in the top 3.
And we talked about it this morning, but who would be your pick if you got top 3? Let's say you're the second pick. Let's say
it's way too early for that. But I mean, the consensus is Boozer, DeBansta, or the
Darian from Kansas.
Darren Peterson. Yeah. So
I mean, Peterson is a combo guard. I like Boozer. I like Boozer a lot. There's some questions about the athleticism, but we have an unathletic big and Brandon Clark, who plays really good winning basketball for us.
I'm sorry. Brandon Clark is not unathletic. He's just short.
Now. He's not. He used to be uber athletic, but the multiple knee surgeries, you didn't hear that part. I said he's unathletic now because used to he'd tear the rim off, buddy.
But I thought you were doing a player comp there, and I wouldn't compare. I wouldn't put. I'm not ready to put Brandon Clark in the unathletic when we're talking just. You don't comp the bad version of players. It's just like, oh, that's the player, and you think of that being the player. But anyways, I see what you're saying there. But
shockingly, before we move fully off of the standings, the Oklahoma City Thunder are plus 105 to win the Western Conference right now, followed by the Nuggets at plus 430, the Rockets at plus 650, and the Lakers at plus 900.
We're at the point. We're at the point now to where you just need to, you just Oklahoma City or the field. It's that simple.
I mean, at 15-1 in this young season, that is just absolutely astonishing.
We haven't seen anybody repeat since LeBron did it with the Heat, I believe. Well, it's the Curry Warriors. The KD,
back to back,
the KD
15,
Curry
16
Warriors.
or 14, 15, something like that.
You're probably going to see it this year. That team just feels inevitable. I tried so hard to not give him the credit last year, but now that they've actually done it, thanks to Tyrese Halliburton's Achilles, you just kind of have to. This could be just a wholly inevitable playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. At 15-1, it feels like it, especially with the good Jalen Williams coming back sooner than later. But that's our Grizzlies talk for today. Go get a win tonight. That's all that matters. Just go play winning basketball. Play competitive basketball. You're 1-9 in your last 10. The Kings are 2-8. A movable force meets a stoppable object tonight in the FedEx Forum, and something's got to give. Tonight has to be the night, right? On the other side of this commercial break, we do have
we may reduce the amount of shows we do a week or something. We're going to have to start pacing ourselves.
Yeah, that's it, because it's going to be a long season. But on the other side of this commercial break, we do got a few things to talk about, including if you had shown somebody the picture that dropped today on August 31st of James Franklin waving a Virginia Tech flag to Penn State fans when they were the number 2 team in the country, people would have had a stroke. But we'll get to that and more on the other side of this commercial break.
Calling all Tiger fans, your place to watch the first-round matchup between the Memphis Tigers and number 1 ranked Purdue Boilermakers is at Mugshots Grill and Bar in Collierville, Tennessee. 4:30 p.m. Thursday, November 20th. Come hang out with Bluff City Media at the South's premier sports bar. Great food, beer specials, and large television screens will make Mugshots the place to be to cheer on your Tiger basketball team. Also, Tigers Live, the premier Memphis Tigers postgame show, will be live after the game from Mugshots. Come hang out with us this Thursday.
Some games define a season, but the Egg Bowl defines a state. It's not just a game. It's bragging rights, family lines, and hatred that few rivalries can match. Forget records and rankings. In this game,
unsportsmanlike conduct on all players from both teams.
The tradition is chaos, and this year could be the most yet. Mississippi State has something we haven't seen in years, a bite behind their bark. Starkville believes again, and the Cowbells will be out in force. Across the field, Ole Miss comes to town with everything to play for, but that's not what we're talking about. Lane Kiffin's dramatics hang like a dark cloud over Oxford. The Rebs have dodged distractions before, but never with this much on the line. This year's Egg Bowl promises to be crazy. It's for postseason positioning, state supremacy, and an opportunity to play spoiler like never before. What will be the story this year? The only guarantee in this game is chaos, and Grind City Brewing is your home for every single second.
Four and 11, 5-game losing streak, 1.5 back of the 10 spot. Is it fixable?
If your thoughts were this team was a what? Before the season started, where did you think that you thought they would be?
Playoff team.
In the top 6 in the Western Conference?
Contending for 6.
See, my thoughts were they were a 7 to 10 team. Too many unknowns. Told you it was an if year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of ifs.
If these things happen, we can be like, ooh, it's fun. But it's a lot of them ifs that have to happen. And a lot of those ifs are not happening. Not much needs to be salvaged to be where I thought that this team was going to be anyway. I think the playing better is good. It's just now it's about fourth quarter basketball.
Tune in to the Night Court Podcast with your hosts, Rob Fisher and Brevin Knight, on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Welcome back to the Two Buck Sports Show Thursday edition of the show. I'm Uncle Buck here with Rusty Buckets to my left, and we have talked our therapy session, just vented a little bit, and we've also vented through the start of the Memphis Grizzlies season. So if you're just tuning in, feel free at the end of the show to go back and catch the first half of the show. It was a good one.
It was some good talk about the Grizzlies, NBA at large. Jared brings up a great point. Being on pace to go 75-7 like the friggin' Thunder is just unbelievable. This might be a team that really challenges that old Bulls record and what the Thunder did or the Warriors did a few years ago. Just going to be an unbelievable stretch of the season for a team that I truly hate to see being successful. But before we get into college football, just a reminder for everybody as it hopefully comes up. The Memphis, there it is. Next Friday, we have a college football Saturday show on Friday at Grind City Brewing. $5 beers for everybody wearing Ole Miss or Mississippi State gear to come watch the Egg Bowl. Also going to have Georgia Tech, A&M in Texas on your home for college football in Memphis, Tennessee. It's Grind City Brewing, and we'll see y'all there next Friday. Drew, the coaching carousel spins on with more and more layers to it, man. I saw this tweet this morning and I showed it to you. What do you think about this clause in the Lane Kiffin contract? Basically, I'll set it up, let you talk about it. Interesting Lane Kiffin trivia and ESPN story. Per the initial contract, Ole Miss can fire or reassign him to other duties, including water boy, athletic trainer, ball boy, whatever they want to do. If he fails to give prior written notice to the AD that he is asking or seeking or considering employment by another school. There's been no mention of this, no mention if he warned Keith Carter. But what are your thoughts on the Lane Kiffin clause?
Yeah, so, this is just kind of outlining the nuclear scenario. If Ole Miss abides by its, poorly referenced ultimatum or their mutual agreement and that said, like, hey, you cannot screw us here. This is kind of lays out a scenario in which they could force his hand a little bit. We joke and say that people fired were promoted to fan. Well, they could literally promote him to, janitor or, dean of the liberal arts department within the university there and take him away his responsibilities as head coach without firing him and owing him a buyout. That's a nuclear option. I don't think it ultimately comes to that. I think that there will be other options, before then. The problem Ole Miss has is that you don't want to come off as weak. You are the blue blood in this situation now. You are the destination in Ole Miss opinion and in the court of public appeal right now. You saw yesterday where everybody who had any sort of publication and national audience was dogging Lane Kiffin, and Ole Miss was kind of the darling of all these stories. So now you're the big dog now. And if you're Ole Miss, you're an Ole Miss fan like myself, you think, okay, would this fiasco be happening at Alabama or LSU or Texas or anywhere else? Would they stand for having their coach drag them around like this? And the answer is no. And so the follow-up question then is like, what do you do then? And this outlines an option. And I don't ultimately think it comes down to this, but there is no offset language in Lane Kiffin's buyout. If they fire him, they owe him his salary, his buyout agreement, regardless of if the next day he takes a job at LSU or not. So you can't fire him. That's the problem with this ultimatum everybody ran with on Monday or Tuesday, was that there is no leverage here for Ole Miss because you can't fire him.
Yeah. And On 3 is reporting this morning via Chris Lowe that there is a meeting scheduled between Lane Kiffin and Keith Carter for this Friday. It's probably just a regularly scheduled meeting, but right now the tea leaves, the smokes, they're looking like smoke signals. They're looking for somebody to light the fire and put out the smoke that somebody has a new coach, as Lane Kiffin becomes the odds-on betting favorite to be the LSU head coach. I don't know that there's anything of that meeting other than maybe it's a regular one, but that could be an opportunity to decide one way or the other.
I think that's probably looking into it a little further than necessary, trying to connect dots that are probably there but don't mean anything. It's been reported by Ole Miss sites, the ones that I trust on Rebels 247, that Kiffin and Carter have had daily conversations. Nothing that has been reported has been a surprise. They have a good relationship, a good working relationship, and there was an agreement placed and an understanding instituted after the Auburn fiasco 3 years ago that, hey, you just can't leave us in the dark. You can do what you want to do. As it's, Lane Kiffin has had a blank check here. They've given him a vehicle to drive and do whatever, a metaphorical vehicle here, to do whatever in the world he pleases. Just, we ask you not to burn us and keep us in the loop. And I think that's been the case. I'm sure there's a meeting on Friday. I'm sure they've been talking every single day that this is going on. So I don't really know. I don't really know what happens. Ole Miss fans started kind of just kind of riding the wave, and the wave kind of went your way again last night, where it seemed like after the Court of Public Appeals ruled against Kiffin and the possibility of him leaving a playoff team, it kind of started swinging back the other way last night, where Ole Miss fans started to feel confident again. I think you're kind of riding the wave, and I don't ultimately know, and I don't think Kiffin knows.
I don't either. And it's sad. Like we're at Cupcake Week in college football. I don't know. It's going to be hard to pick some games for us to pick tomorrow against the FanDuel spread on our FanDuel Football Friday episode, because it's a bunch of cupcake games. And so, unfortunately, this is what's going to dominate the media cycle until some real games happen. Next Friday, next Saturday, we'll start next Thursday with, you got Memphis Navy, and then you've got rivalry games throughout the rest of the weekend. You'll at least have some distraction from it then. We'll have some actual football to talk about. But unfortunately, it just came – it's a byproduct of the nature of college football now. These decisions and these coaching changes happen during the season now. It is what it is. But the fact that most of the world, including State and Ole Miss, are on a bye week and or playing a cupcake game this Saturday, this is all we're going to hear about ad nauseum, and it's kind of tiring. I'm ready. As a Mississippi State fan, I cheer for Ole Miss's downfall. Nothing would make me happier for this just to blow up in everybody's face, Lane Kiffin, Ole Miss, and all that. But I'm kind of tired of talking about it, tired of seeing about it. Like, Lane Kiffin loves to be he has main character syndrome, loves to be the main character in the story. Like, just make your decision, buddy. Like, at some point, you got to pull the trigger. And you're not going to be able to please everybody as a people pleaser. I know how that goes. Pull the trigger and make a decision one way or the other, man.
Yeah, Lane, it's just a weird spot. And a lot of it's not his fault. I've defended him on that a little bit. Like, the schedule needs to change. However, if you're the guys making the schedule, it's like, wait, we put this together and it's flawed, I know, but why in the world would we have assumed that a coach heading into the playoff would consider leaving? And so, like, this seems pretty asinine. Well, yeah, I would agree. And
Yeah.
so Lane doesn't believe that he's done anything wrong. He's just exploring options, just like anybody would when they're shopping for a new job or a new car or a toaster. It's like you're just going to kind of weigh your options. And unfortunately for him, the only time to do it is now. And I don't think you should be searching for a new toaster when you've got a state-of-the-art toaster in your house right now.
But like Chris says, it's time to tell Lane Kiffin to get off the pot.
Yeah, it
Do
is.
your business or get off the pot.
It is. And, as an Ole Miss fan, you've kind of started looking at your ideas, and I've kind of fallen in love with the idea of John Sumrall all over again. I've been infatuated with John Sumrall for a long time, to the point to where I prayed he wouldn't take or be offered the Mississippi State job. So I've just kind of always loved John Sumrall, and I feel like Lane Kiffin, it's fair to say that if he stays at Ole Miss for this playoff run, then we're just going to do this again. Like, there's just something in his makeup that just tells him to get out. And
we had this very same conversation on this show the last couple of seasons when this, especially at the end with the Auburn job, of how, like, with Lane Kiffin, this is what you sign up for year in and year out. But speaking of the Mississippi State job, man, yesterday in his press conference, Jeff Lebby said that he feels that Blake Shapen, it gives us the best opportunity to win. If he's healthy, he's going to be out there putting us like in a position to win. And that's like, buddy, you're clearly not watching the same football we are, because yes, Kamario Taylor's a freshman. He's probably got a lot of room to grow, but like, you cannot watch the tape and see that dramatic of a difference between two styles of play, two quarterbacks. No, Kamario Taylor's not going to come in and score every fourth play like he has been, because he's been put in positions right now to be like, make those plays, but he's making those plays. And at some point you've got to give him the reins. Blake Shapen is what he is, but I don't know that I've ever seen a coach be more hard-headed. And Mike Leach was our head coach, who just is going to bubble screen you to death.
right.
Until it works. And yet we still keep running Blake freaking Shapen out there as our starting quarterback.
I will say, in defense of Jeff Lebby on this, and I've kind of just, as somebody who's not a fan of Mississippi State, don't watch a lot of Mississippi State, I default to you on this, but I've always said, like, the coaches see practice. They kind of know everybody's limitations. If you're looking and dissecting what it takes to beat Ole Miss, it's through the air. And so this may be the perfect Blake Shapen game.
Because like, what's going to happen? Yes, it's through the air, but if Ole Miss gets pressure, Blake Shapen can't escape it. It's just going to be a sack. And sometimes we've seen it be big sacks, whereas Kamario Taylor can extend plays with his legs, get out of the pocket, and we've seen him make really good throws on the run. Blake Shapen has time and time again not been able to do that.
You're anti-Shapen. It's fine. You have that right. I'm just saying, if you want to beat Ole Miss, it's typically easier to do it through the air. And
Kamario Taylor has Blake Shapen.
Yeah, but I think it's
through more opportunities. But Kamario Taylor has a bigger arm.
It's probably fair to speculate that he doesn't do a good job of reading defenses either. So
I don't know. Again, the film is what the film is, and when he goes in, he makes.
The film is Kamario Taylor running off the right tackle a lot.
He also has a 75, a 60-yard touchdown pass. He hits a lot of outs. Like, he also has got some throws. I don't know. I'm tired, boss. I just want us to win a football game and put us in the right position to win.
You know what Lane Kiffin hasn't lost, though, is his fastball on Twitter. Because last night he reposted that tweet from 2020 of Jeff Lebby and DJ Durkin doing a jump ball in the facility, both wearing Ole Miss gear. I did get. He still got his fastball.
He also tweeted out Mike Leach overnight when Mike Leach was folding the chairs when he didn't want his receivers sitting because they weren't doing anything on the field.
Right.
And still said he said one of my favorites. And Mike Leach's last game he ever coached was a win over Lane Kiffin the last time we won in the Egg Bowl. So.
And what did it cost?
Yeah. Well, his life? Like, where are you getting at? I don't know what you're saying here, man. He didn't die because he won the Egg Bowl. Good Lord. That's going to do it for the $2 Sports Show on this
We've got some moles.
Oh, boy. That's going to do it for the $2 Sports Show on this rainy Thursday here. Y'all be safe out there. We'll be back here tomorrow at 11 a.m. Central on Bluff City Media's YouTube channel. Thank y'all for hanging out with us in the comments. We appreciate it. y'all go be a friend to somebody who needs a friend. And Drew, tell them why there are no refunds.
That's right, because with the $2, you always get what you pay for. Everybody pack your umbrellas. Come back with us tomorrow.
Thank you for listening to the 2 Buck Sports Show. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a rating and a review wherever you download your podcasts. Also, like and subscribe to Bluff City Media's YouTube page. We'll see you back here next time.